Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, part of it, I think, is great because it's going to give people who are on benefits a sort of a way out and a way into sort of aspirational home ownership. This is what happened in the 80s as well. I know a lot of families, a lot of people who were helped off the sort of cycle of benefits and dependency to owning equity and owning their own property, which was fantastic. But, I mean, it does seem a little bit unfair that, you know, in the UK at the moment, especially if you're in a major city, you can only afford to buy a house if you're either super rich. You can only afford to live there if you're super rich or if you're super poor. What about the people in the middle who are working and paying all the taxes?
See, that's the bit that... this is the bit that I find slightly a bit... it just feels a bit cynic when I think about it. I'm really happy to help and make sure that people can afford to buy their own home. But whether everyone should have the right to own their own home so that literally we make sure that everyone does, then it doesn't consider the people who've worked incredibly hard to earn their own stuff. And then when you get older, there's that care home thing where you end up selling most of what you've got to then pay for your care, which I find, again, quite really despicable. So what is the incentive for me as a person in the middle to even bother when I know I'm going to be helped?
Well, also, there's the point, who actually will own the home? Because if it's a government house or it's a social housing or a council property to start off with, then they're using benefits to pay the mortgage. Who owns it anyway? It's all semantics, isn't it? The whole thing, you know, on paper, oh, I'm a homeowner, but actually, you're not really.
Maybe it's a trick, so the government lets people feel like they've bought a house, but then when they take it back to pay for their care at the end, they were just borrowing the house.
That's the point, that's the point. And mortgage actually means death tax.
Yeah.
Yes,
so basically tax you to death. And the fact is that I think that this is actually a trick, isn't it? Because you think that they've given you money to buy a house, but actually when you need to go into a care home, they'll take that right off you and use it to spend on sell it to pay for your care.
Absolutely, or it could be another kind of trick because we know that they're bringing all these net zero regulations. Sorry to keep going on about it, but the net zero regulations, you know, you have to do this and you have to do that to the property. Well, if it's technically owned by the person and not them, they'll be the one responsible for doing all the costs to bring it up to date and the cladding. They'll get out of all of the cladding stuff, won't they?